and Matt covers 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. The time for games is over. Texas, street fight.
When I reach my hand out for those who typically pull me up,
You don't have any friends left.
I find that everybody's a little bit preoccupied.
So now you're in a bit of a pickle, aren't you, Cody?
We're here to cut the head off the snake.
I was naive to think that I could make you my protege, but I was not naive to the fact that you're a bad guy.
You can never be champ. And that's all because of me.
You say you won't wrestle me? What's it gonna take?
No! No! And now Shanna, the native beast has made one hell of a statement here tonight.
People often loathe what they can't understand because it scares them, and no one likes to be afraid. Myself and Awesome Kong, we make up the Nightmare Collective. We do the jobs that no one else wants to do.
Joey Janela is looking for a headline, and there's no better way to be impactful than to defeat the #1 contender, Jon Moxley.
Jon Moxley.
Oh, good God, they went right to the table. Paradigm shift. Jon Moxley continues to dominate.
Look at this Jericho.
And Jericho returning the favor. We saw it last week. It was Moxley stalking the champion.
AEW World Champ Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley. The stare down continues for the second straight week on Dynamite. Hi, everybody. Welcome to AEW Dark, along with the one and only Dasha Gonzalez. I'm Tony Schiavone. We got a great lineup for you this week, but before we go there, what about Moxley and Jericho, the world champion, now face to face? Not really close.
Yep.
But looking eye to eye each other the second straight week.
Those stare downs are so intimidating, sitting in the audience watching to see what's happening. I'm curious to see who's going to pounce on the other one first.
Yes. Well, Jon Moxley's been pouncing on a lot of people, and Joey Janela found that out this past week on Dynamite. But I want to talk about the fact that Moxley said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of you. There's 1 of me. I don't think he's worried about the odds against him.
Jon Moxley's never scared of anyone or anything. The man plays by his own rules.
And we'll see what transpires in the weeks to come. All right, here's the lineup this week on AEW Dark. In what should be a crazy 3-man match, or if you will, a triple threat, the librarian Peter Avalon with Leva Bates will meet Jimmy Havoc and the sensational Scorpio Sky of SCU.
In tag team action, Jurassic Express will face the duo of John Silver and Alex Reynolds.
Should be a great matchup. And then our main event, Kenny Omega is back with us this week on Dark. He'll go one-on-one with Kip Sabian, who'll be there along with Penelope Ford.
We will also take you back to last week on Dynamite and hear from the American Nightmare Cody, as well as a bizarre turn of events from Brandy Rhodes.
Yeah, so well, I was right there with Cody, and that was crazy. And of course,
and she was with Awesome Kong as well.
She always is. But right now, let's head to the ring for our very first match this week on Dark. Excalibur joined this week by Chuck Taylor of Best Friends, and I'm sure Orange Cassidy will be there as well.
Champaign, I said, shh. Not only are you illiterate, but you can't listen. I said, shh.
The librarian, Peter Avalon, not finding many friends here on the campus of the University of Illinois, Champaign, Urbana.
That calls itself Champaign. It sure looks like you all drink a lot of cheap malt liquor.
How rude! Shh. I apologize.
Leva Bates does not seem to share her fellow librarian, Peter Avalon's views.
This for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Approaching the ring from Camden Town in London, England, weighing 14 stone, Jimmy Havoc.
We saw Jimmy Havoc last week on AEW Dark. He was fined $10,000. Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy doesn't even get a nameplate. Look at that. Oh, he's not his headset on anyway.
Right. Jimmy Havoc was fined $10,000 last week for using a stable gun during that the Diamond Dozen Battle Royal.
Yeah, I'm very aware. He stapled me in the crotch, that pervert.
And he stapled that check to the forehead of Brandon Cutler. And then proceeded to write another $10,000 check.
Jimmy Havoc seems to be writing a lot of checks that his bank account probably can't cash. You know what I mean?
The third and final participant from Southern California, weighing 205 pounds, he is one half of the AEW World Tag Team Champions, Scorpio Sky.
Scorpio Sky coming off his unsuccessful challenge to the champion Chris Jericho in his first ever singles match here in AEW. And now coming back in a three-way match. Sky, of course, one half of the AEW World Tag Team Champions, along with Frankie Kazarian. And you have to imagine Peter Avalon and Jimmy Havoc would like nothing more than to take one of the hottest prospects here in AEW down a peg.
Absolutely. This isn't a tag match, but if you pin a champion in the company, that's a good look for you going forward. I don't know if Jimmy Havoc has a tag team partner or if Peter Avalon does, but you pin a World Tag Team Champion in the middle of the ring, and that's a good look for you going forward.
Yeah, the victories here in AEW, the rankings released every Friday, those victories are weighted based on the strength of competition, your opponent's record, and Scorpio Sky's tag team record has not lost a tag team match in a matter of months, and so he is on a huge roll. And Jimmy Havoc bailing to the outside and pulling out a chair and looking for even more plunder, chasing down Leva Bates.
Leva Bates not very quick.
No, those heels are not the most mobile thing in the world. And now, Havoc though gets intercepted on the outside by Scorpio Sky.
Must have been looking for that staple gun. I probably hit it from him.
And Peter Avalon guillotined over the top rope there, but Leva Bates grabbing on Scorpio Sky. Peter Avalon went to take advantage, but unable to do so as Leva pulled him all the way. A little miscommunication. 1, 2.
It's like these librarians aren't on the same page, Excalibur. Have you guys made that one yet? Man, I'm maybe the best commentator in this company.
Scorpio Sky coming off the middle rope, diving crossbody, takes down Avalon, hook of the leg. 1, 2. 2 count only from referee Paul Turner. And Jimmy Havoc now returning to the ring after receiving that big boot on the outside, courtesy of one half of the World Tag Team Champions. Havoc, the Japanese-style arm drag, taking Sky into the corner. Now the elevated, almost like a DDT, except he sat out with it on facebuster on Avalon. And Havoc, the suplex into the corner, sending Sky into the turnbuckles once again.
Let's go for the pin here.
Hooks the far leg, 2. Havoc, 2 count for Jimmy Havoc.
Havoc has found something that worked for him, and it's throwing Scorpio Sky into that corner there.
And it's interesting that he's chosen to isolate Scorpio Sky, obviously based on, look at this, biting the calf of Sky. Based on win-loss records, Scorpio Sky, his record of 9-4 overall. Peter Avalon with a 0-5 overall record. You would expect him to be the target.
I think Havoc is just hitting whatever in front of him. Every Paul Turner better look out, he's gonna get bit.
Now looking for that acid rainmaker, that ripcord lariat. Sky able to duck under it, throws a hard right hand.
Just both rocking here.
Boot to the midsection, Jimmy Havoc. Irish whip into the ropes, reverse boot by Havoc, a knee lift by Avalon, and a hanging neckbreaker combination.
Almost accidental tag team work there.
I think Avalon and Havoc stunned to find themselves on the same page, but making common cause. Working over Scorpio Sky. One half of the tag team champions, 1/3 of SCU, along with Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels.
Came in as a replacement last second in the match in the tag team tournament against 2 guys in the first round. I can't remember who they beat in the first round, but he wasn't even supposed to be a part of the match.
No, he was not. Look at this, Avalon coming in the corner. And Jimmy Havoc with the running uppercut. Scorpio Sky was a late fill-in for that first round match against Best Friends in the first round. Oh, look at this, Avalon with the martinis! Driving Jimmy Havoc face first into the center of the ring. Now, Sky, though, comes out of the corner, firing up that big lariat. Diving back elbow. Now the soul butt there from Scorpio Sky. Avalon telegraphed it, and Sky taking advantage. Sending Avalon into the ropes. Drop kick takes him off his feet.
Beautiful drop kick. Great leaping ability does this Scorpio Sky. Really living up to that name.
Back elbow there from Jimmy Havoc as he goes up to the middle rope looking for that swinging DDT, but Sky deposits him out on the apron. And now Havoc once again taking a chunk out of the hand of Scorpio Sky. Little bit of misdirection there as Avalon, I think he was going to attack Sky, but he accidentally knocked Havoc off the corner. And oh, look at this, belly-to-belly suplex.
2 for the price of 1. Great strength and form on that belly-to-belly throw over the top rope. Sky bringing this crowd to its feet, maybe gonna go to the Sky on his own. Tope con hilo, dose them both down.
Scorpio Sky taking flight here in Champaign, Illinois. Let's take another look at this. Sky dumping Avalon over the top and then following up with that beautiful tope, taking out both other members of the opposition.
He's got to get one back inside here and get a pin. He's got both of them down.
Oh, Jimmy Havoc charging in, eats a back elbow. Sky comes over the top to the outside. Oh, went for
that slingshot cutter he uses, but got caught with that European uppercut.
That uppercut, beautiful combination there, or beautiful counter move by Havoc, but Sky gets the boot up, another uppercut there.
So those darn Europeans, man, they're born knowing how to throw that thing. I can't throw one to save my life.
Jimmy Havoc sits out. 1, 2, 2 count. Scorpio Sky able to kick out. And Jimmy Havoc taking a moment to compose himself. He was looking for something underneath at the very beginning of this match, something underneath the ring, and now he's found it. And it's a staple gun.
I mean, he's ejecting staples there. You saw one fly. Is that $10,000? Does it have to go into someone?
I believe it's when it goes into an opponent, that's when the fine is levied. Right now, Jimmy Havoc has basically could have purchased a moderately priced small car for what he's done with that staple gun.
Now, is he going to get fined for using this book?
Scorpio Sky, though, takes the book out of Avalon's hands.
Goads him in, sends him out to the floor. Hard landing.
Using the book to knock that staple gun out of the hand.
Hit him in the ear.
He clobbered Havoc with it, and now Scorpio Sky coming over the top of that.
There's a cutter.
Looking for the cover, but Avalon there. Avalon dumps Sky to the outside. 1, 2, no! Peter Avalon very nearly scored his first victory here in AEW.
You saw Sky couldn't decide if he wanted to go for the pin. He knew Avalon was leering in the back.
Savage knife edge chop, but Sky follows up with that kick.
What a catch.
On the
Look at
shoulders.
the
TKO from Scorpio Sky. 1, 2, 3. That is it.
The winner of this match, Scorpio Sky.
A tremendous singles victory here for Scorpio Sky. Now let's take another look at this finish, how Scorpio Sky was able to put away the librarian Peter Avalon with that beautifully executed TKO.
Great strength there to catch him out of midair. Drives him down with a cutter. Hooks the far leg, wraps him up tight. That's 3. That's academic there, Mr. Librarian.
That's all she wrote. Scorpio Sky picking up a huge victory here on Dark.
Big win for Scorpio Sky in our opening bout this week on AEW Dark. And what about Scorpio Sky?
I mean, that is the reason why he's one half of the AEW World Tag Team Champions. The man, just because he may have had a loss to Chris Jericho the week prior, he puts that aside and he uses that anger and frustration to perpetuate, to move him forward. And he was victorious this week.
He's pinned Chris Jericho.
He has before.
And you got to be a great singles wrestler before you're a great tag team wrestler, right?
Very true.
Absolutely.
Very true.
So how about that? Now, for the 3rd straight week, we have seen some very, very disturbing videos from the Dark Order. Here's the latest we saw this past week on AEW Dynamite.
Are you sure you're ready? Yes. To lose it all? Yes. To sacrifice it all? Yes. What is your motive for joining the Dark Order? Revenge. You are one. Look at me. Are you one with the Dark Order?
Yes.
Will you disown your family for the Dark Order?
Yes.
Then what is your motive for joining the Dark Order?
Just wanted friends.
That is some creepy stuff. And that poor guy just wanted some friends.
He did. He just wanted some friends. He was willing to forget about his family. He was willing to forget about anyone and everyone just to be a part of the Dark Order. Poor guy. I don't want anything to do with the Dark Order.
No.
They creep me out.
Yeah, they're a bunch of creeps. There's no, they got creepers.
They do have creepers.
Absolutely. So we're going to be hearing, no doubt, more from the Dark Order as the weeks go by here in All Elite Wrestling. Also, let's take you back to Dynamite last week, where AEW World Champion Chris Jericho presented his lexicon of Le Champion and unexpectedly found his next opponent for the AEW title.
So Le Champion is in Champaign. On the last Dynamite of 2019, December 18th in Corpus Christi, Texas, I am being forced to have one more match for this year. But here's the thing, because I am Le Champion, I have the option to choose whoever I want to face. So what I did was I put together a little list. Seriously? Get out of 2016. This is not the list any longer. It is the lexicon of Le Champion. And on this lexicon is everybody that I refuse to wrestle. Jon Moxley, Cody Rhodes, because he can't. Young Bucks, Papa Buck, Uncle Buck, Buck Owens, Moxley, Hangman Page, Diamond Dallas Page, Moxley, Michael Nakazawa, Kenny Omega, Kenny Ortega, Kenny Shields, Kenny Chesney, Kenny from South Park, Moxley.
Individuals conspicuous in their absence on that list, or excuse me, the lexicon.
Whoa. Hold on a second, Luchasaurus. I know what you're going to say here, but you didn't let me finish, because next on the list is dinosaurs and little children.
You think that's how I sound? You didn't think I could talk? Well, I bet you don't know that I have a master's degree in medieval history. So it doesn't surprise me that dinosaurs are on your list. We've been marginalized for 65 million years. And as far as Marco, yeah, he's small for his age, but he's more man than you'll ever be.
Easy, Tiger.
First of all, Marco Stunt is small for any age. And second of all, so if it's not you and it's not you, you can't mean you. You think you have what it takes to face Le Champion? You couldn't last 10 minutes with me. You understand what I'm...
I know that I can last 10 minutes with you, and I'm gonna kick your ass.
Here we go now. Got the big guys in there too. Look at Marcos throwing hands. Hager and Luchasaurus. And Jungle Boy takes down Le Champion. Well, it sounds like a match has been made. A challenge has been accepted.
December 18th, Corpus Christi, right, Tony?
Corpus Christi, American Bank Center. It's his final match, Jericho says, of 2019.
Kind of a weird way for it all to transpire, but it's great to see Jungle Boy get his shot.
Now that match is set for December 18th when AEW Dynamite originates from Corpus Christi, Texas. But right now, it's time for our next bout here on Dark as Marco Stunt and Luchasaurus of Jurassic Express meet the team of John Silver and Alex Reynolds.
This is a tag team match set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first at a combined weight of 374 pounds, the team of John Silver and Alex Reynolds.
The tag team of John Silver, Alex Reynolds, still looking for their first victories here in AEW, and I am joined by none other than the doctor herself, Britt Baker.
What's up? I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, absolutely. You need some woman power in commentary table.
Never a bad
right?
thing, never a bad thing. Well, we have tag team action here tonight. John Silver, Alex Reynolds is taking on the Jurassic Express contingent.
My favorite thing in AEW right now, Jurassic Express. So I'm so excited for this one.
Their opponents, Marco Stunt, Luchasaurus, Jurassic Express.
What we saw last week on AEW Dynamite, Le Champion Chris Jericho offering his challenge. He had the lexicon of Le Champion of contenders that he would not face. One man that was not on that list is Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy won't be in action tonight, but he will be taking on Chris Jericho next week in Corpus Christi, Texas on Dynamite.
Jungle Boy totally fearless, too, against Chris Jericho.
And, I mean, he would not be deterred, not be denied. And Jungle Boy
slapped him straight in the face.
Making a name for himself, and maybe next time that Jericho makes a list, Jungle Boy's name will be number one.
Jungle Boy's number one on my list, so.
Not your boyfriend?
No, my boyfriend. We've already been through this.
Marco Stunt and Luchasaurus set to take on Silver and Reynolds. As I mentioned, Silver and Reynolds still looking for their first victories here in AEW. Marco Stunt and Luchasaurus looking for their first tag team victory. Luchasaurus picking up a singles win a couple weeks ago over the librarian Peter Avalon. And oh, look at this, Reynolds.
I was talking Luchasaurus in the back, and he said he really feels like he's the protector of this group, and he's the leader. He's educating Jungle Boy, he's new to society, and he said that Marco reminds him a lot of himself because for the first 64 million years of his life, he was shorter than Marco's son, and then he hit a huge growth spurt.
And before him stands the dinosaur that we see today. So Luchasaurus, of course, no stranger to the hallowed halls of academia, much like yourself.
I'd really connect with him for that. What it's
talk about connecting that shot. The knee strike there from Luchasaurus. Another knee to the back of the head. And then a big stomp for added effect. Luchasaurus, a one-man wrecking crew. I don't know if people know this, Britt, but you are a dentist.
I know. Have you told them this, or?
I think once or twice. But now Marco Stunt being thrown.
Marco is so unpredictable. I feel he is truly the craziest one of this group, and that could make him potentially the most dangerous in some situations.
You're exactly right. He is unpredictable. And how do you prepare for somebody the size of Marco Stunt with his speed and his explosivity?
And he's so athletic.
And elbow drop to the back of the head of Silver.
The vertical jump on that one.
Reynolds taking off his feet. Silver taking off his feet. Cover hook of the leg. 1, 2. 2 count as John Silver able to kick out. Referee Mike Posey keeping his eye on the action. And now Marco Stunt. Looking to build up a full head of steam, but Reynolds right behind him. And Silver coming out with that running kick. Cover. 1, 2, 2 count. And Britt, we've seen you in singles action here in AEW. We've seen you in tag team action. But you have not had a consistent partner inside the ring. Does that ever concern you? Does somebody that you can't gel with, somebody that you can't create tag team strategies with, somebody like Reynolds and Silver who've been partners for years?
Well, they've been partners for years, but I mean, look at their luck right here. They just can't catch a break. So I think time will come, and I'm going to find somebody that I mesh with. And I have my eyes on a few girls too that I really, really have been impressed with lately.
And now Alex Reynolds standing on the hair of Marco Stunt.
Ruthless, these two.
And you mentioned how the Jurassic Express, your favorite unit here in AEW.
Absolutely.
Their shirt's a bestseller on shopaew.com.
I bought one. Black Friday, so.
And you used your employee discount on top of it?
Yep.
Wow. You are really smart. Look at this, Marco Stunt trying to fight up from his backside, but John Silver puts him right back down, and another kick taking him off his feet.
Right across the chest.
1, 2. 2 count again, says referee Mike Posey. Just a reminder, if you are watching us here live on YouTube, we appreciate it. Use hashtag AEWDark when you tweet about us. Let the world know what you like. Marco Stunt not liking having the breath choked out of him or that boot across the jaw. Luchasaurus, you can tell that protective instinct is kicking in. He wants to come to Marco's aid. 1, 2. But he has to do so within the confines of the rules of wrestling. Now, Silver with that power advantage, sending Marco into the corner. Charging in, Marco gets that back elbow up. Rattles Reynolds with that, rattles Silver again. Marco fighting out of dangerous territory. And Britt, he needs to make a tag, but look at that.
He's got to get across that ring.
The power of Silver and Reynolds with that cutter. Cover. 1, 2. Almost a 3 count there.
How inspiring is Marco Stunt? He has so much heart and fire to him.
You're exactly right, and it's something that Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy identified. They saw him getting bullied back in the locker room. They saw somebody, though, with a ton of potential.
Right here.
Marco rolls him up. 1, 2. A 2 count. And Marco shoving off Reynolds, but Reynolds hanging on to the boot. Great heads-up maneuver there by Alex Reynolds.
Very impressive from Alex Reynolds.
I think he actually has his fingers laced inside the boot. Marco trying desperately to make that crawl. Missed with the enziguri. And the wheelbarrow from Alex Reynolds. And now he makes the tag. Does Marco Stunt? Luchasaurus comes in. The pump kick finds his mark on Silver. Kick to the midsection, kick to the face, question mark kick. And now John Silver is trying to get out of the ring with the wheelbarrow German suplex.
This crowd is loving Luchasaurus, and I would not want to be in the path of those legs, that's for sure.
Luchasaurus so dangerous with those educated feetsies. He's got the goozle applied to Reynolds and Silver as well. And now Luchasaurus, double choke slam, taking out Silver and Reynolds.
As an oral health provider, I want to take a look at that green tongue at some time in the future.
Really more questions than answers with that. And Marco Stunt up on the shoulder, up on the top rope. Alex Reynolds on the shoulder of Luchasaurus. The corkscrew neck breaker, into the cutter. 1, 2, 3. Marco Stunt and Luchasaurus. What an impressive victory here.
The winner of this match.
Such a great team. This is really like a family element.
And you want to talk about a team that's gelling. It looks like Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt really putting it together here tonight on AEW Dark.
Marco told me that for the first time in his life, this is the first time he feels like he is with family.
Marco has been accepted. And here we see, look at this, Marco Stunt that corkscrew into a cutter off the shoulders of Luchasaurus. It was academic from there, and Marco Stunt has found a home. He's found a family with Jurassic Express. Britt, thank you for joining us here at the desk.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to your return to the ring.
I'll be out here soon.
Jurassic Express gets a win, and maybe that will help their teammate, Jungle Boy, in 2 weeks as he vies for the AEW title. Well, what a difference in the size of Luchasaurus and Marco Stunt.
Very
Marco.
much so, very much so. But they complement each other.
Yeah, they do.
They look great together.
Yeah, and how about Luchasaurus? He's a little bit smarter than
the man's got a master's degree, half man, half dinosaur. He's so articulate.
Yes.
I just enjoy and love everything about Luchasaurus.
His brain was a million years in the making. Well, a lot is going on in the women's division of All Elite Wrestling, and with an update and a closer look now, let's go to the newest member of our team right here on AEW Dark. Here is Lexi Nair. Lexi?
Thanks, Tony. It's great to be here. The women's division in All Elite Wrestling got quite the shock this past Wednesday on Dynamite as the #1 ranked competitor, Hikaru Shida, was upset by unranked Chris Statlander. Earlier in the night, the native beast Nyla Rose scored a decisive victory over the librarian Leva Bates. And even though her domination in AEW continues, it was her actions after the win that concerned AEW officials. Shortly after the victory, Nyla continued the beatdown on the librarian. This sparked Shanna to head to the ring, not only to help defend Leva Bates, but to also seek her own revenge for what happened last week right here on Dark. This is what ensued.
And Nyla just taking out 2 librarians and Shanna.
And Shanna was trying for a quick hit that time.
And Nyla now looking underneath the ring.
Well, that pretty well answers our questions. As in, what's next?
Nyla pulling out the hardware.
Somebody's getting wood. Because there it is.
Yes, there it is. It was a heck of an effort by Shanna to try to get in and get her licks in, but she wasted too much time up top, I thought.
She tried to do the right thing, but to no avail. Striking Nyla might not be the thing you want to do. Referee's trying to talk Nyla out of this thing.
Finally. Yeah, finally.
Talking reason. Oh! Wait! Wait! No!
What in the world? Oh! Dr. Britt Baker's looking on.
That's Adam Cole's girlfriend. And now Shanna. Oh! Powerbombed on to Rick Knox.
The native beast has made one hell of a statement here tonight.
For her actions, Nyla Rose has been suspended from AEW for the remainder of 2019. Over the past few weeks, we have seen a transformation of Brandi Rhodes as she has aligned herself with Awesome Kong. And during this time, the duo has attacked and collected hair from many competitors in the women's division. This past Wednesday, Brandi gave us some insight to what has been going on as she and Awesome Kong confronted Chris Statlander after the win over Shida.
I had no business here with you tonight, Chris, yet here you are all up in my business. And that creates a precarious situation for me, but perhaps an opportunity for you. As I said, the Nightmare Collective is a part of a grander family, and families aim to grow. So, tonight, you will be the first. Pledge yourself to the Nightmare Collective. We will take care of you. We will elevate you. You will have a home here with us. Pledge yourself to us right now.
Not a bad prospect for Brandi Rhodes to strengthen her ranks with.
Yeah, but she says right now. They didn't give her time to even consider. Whoa. I would say yes right now.
I don't know. A little tense here.
Statlander.
let me pledge.
The fan ringside offering to pledge to the Nightmare Collective.
I saw her last night at Reno's. Crack security team is letting her in.
I'll pledge. Here.
She's
Here.
offering a trophy to Kong and Brandy. And now another trophy added to the belt of Kong.
It appears the Nightmare Collective has found a new member, and it seems as though they are just getting started. Now time to get you more acquainted with one of the rising stars in the AEW women's division, a young competitor known as Big Swole. Her journey to AEW has been one filled with many hurdles, one of which had her battling for her life.
Who is Big Swole? Big Swole is me. I am the Big Swole. I'm the swollest of the big and the biggest of the swole. Basically, it just means I have a big personality and a swole mentality. So everything in life is swole. It's big, it's grand, it's grandioso, it's great. It's all that and then some. La negra tiene tumbao. It's all that and a bag of chips, you know? Just my personality. I just put it out there and I'm just me. April 3rd, 2008, my parents call it my second birthday because I legit died. And they had to pretty much bring me back. And it was this very scary moment in my life. We think you have Crohn's. We're going to do a CAT scan. And after the CAT scan, the doctor came up to me and said, you have 30 minutes to live, or your intestines is going to explode in your body, and then there's nothing that we can do about it. So after rushing to emergency surgery, they took out almost like 2 feet of my intestines. It tore my whole world apart, honestly, especially being told like I was never going to be able to have kids or never be able to be active, and I was always active my whole entire life. I tried giving up a lot of times. In my mind, I was all like, I already can't have kids. Like, what am I going to do? Like, this is, like, it's it for me. Like after I pass away, there's no one else I can, you know, give my love to or share my stories with. So, kind of just broke me down and put me in a bad mental place, and so I just spiraled out of control, completely out of control. Yeah. After I got pregnant with our daughter Odessa, it reinvigorated my will to live and not just go through the motions or let this disease control me and control my life. I usually tell myself every day, Ariel, you're not going to be motivated, but that's why you have to be disciplined. You have to have that mentality to keep going, keep striving, because there's people out there, their dreams rely on me completing mine. And I will not let anybody down. I will not let my people down. I will not let people looking up to me, straddling the fence, people who want to be wrestlers, people with, you know, irritable bowel disease or Crohn's disease or lupus or any other ailment that's harming them, and the doctors are telling you that you can't do something, you can't go on, and you can't do this. And me, I'm just like, screw that. I answer to someone who has the last word. I just took that and I just kind of ran with it.
Whoa! Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
No, of course. Actually, we would love to have you back more. Would you be willing to accept entry over here? Yeah. We want to keep bringing you back. There's so much potential. The sky's the limit for you, and we need someone like you on the roster. So if you would accept our offer, I would be. Listen to those people, you know? They love you out there. So thank you so much, and hope to see you much more. Yes, thank you.
Crohn's disease is really just a mental game. You have to get over that block of you can't do something or you shouldn't do something because you're scared of X, Y, and Z happening. And should not be in your vocabulary. Like fear, you just push it away, push it to the side. The can't and won't will leave you stagnant for life. Think outside of that box, and you have to say, I can and I will, because what you think and what you say, it goes out into the universe. and the universe will give you exactly what you feel. So be very mindful about listening to people's advice about you, because I honestly believe that what people think about you should be none of your concern.
Let's take a look at the rankings for the women's division of AEW as it stood this past Friday. Breaking into the rankings after her big win over Shida is Chris Statlander, who checks in at number 5. In at number 4, dropping 1 spot this week, Dr. Britt Baker. Emi Sakura checks in at number 3. And despite being suspended for the rest of 2019, the native beast, Nyla Rose, moves up 2 spots to number 2. And the number 1 ranked contender once again this week, despite her loss, is Hikaru Shida. A reminder, the new rankings in the women's division will be released this Friday on our social media, on our Twitter feed at AE Wrestling. And there you have it, guys. That's a look at what's happening this week on the women's division of All Elite Wrestling.
Hold your arm right there. You getting any numbness or tingling going down your hand?
No,
okay,
no.
all right, bro. All right, you should be okay, but I think you came back a little bit early, okay?
Yeah, I know. I
Okay.
know. We had this discussion.
All right, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Chris, you took another pile driver tonight from Pentagon Jr. A lot of us want to know, are you all right, man?
Is that your question, Alex? Am I all right? Is that the extent of your journalistic knowledge? Am I all right? No, Alex, I'm not all right. In fact, I'm furious. All my experience, all my strategy, all my knowledge, and I went out there tonight in front of everybody and I up. I made a mistake. I knew I was coming back early, but I wasn't in the right mindset to beat someone as good as Pentagon Jr. I'm gonna have to figure out how I get in the mindset to beat him, and I have to do it quick.
Welcome, everyone, to the AEW Control Center. I'm Tony Schiavone.
And I'm Dasha Gonzalez. AEW Dynamite tomorrow night comes to you live on TNT at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, and we will originate from the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland, Texas.
That's right, AEW comes to the Dallas Metroplex for the very first time ever with a couple of key matches. But before we talk about those matches, last week on Dynamite, we got a close look at the trio of the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny, and why this trio attacked Cody on November 27th in Chicago.
What you witnessed last week was our first order of chaos. We were sick of seeing your face everywhere, on every billboard, every talk show. It's disgusting. We're in your house to cause you pain and destruction. This is the Butcher, this is the Blade, and I'm the Bunny. And we're here to cut the head off the snake.
Well, that explains a lot about their motives when it comes to Cody. But as we found out last week, Cody retains his focus of wanting to get one person in the ring.
MJF has said he will never wrestle me. That is a hell of an absolute, and I do not deal in absolutes because you say you won't wrestle me. I need to wrestle you at Full Gear. You made a decision to throw in that towel. That was not your decision to make. It was only my decision. And you owe it to me because I hand-picked you, Max. I handpicked you when nobody else wanted you, and I have a lot of emails and texts that can back that up, whether they thought you were too short, whether they thought that you were hood rich and the scarf that you cling to is indeed a fake, or whether it was that you do the worst crossroads in all of wrestling, at least they're botching it on 2 channels now, or the fact that under these bright lights you are nothing but a Bush League NWO version of Chris Jericho. I looked past that. I saw young. I saw hungry, albeit angry. I saw a little bit of myself. And I was naive to think that I could make you my protege, but I was not naive to the fact that you're a bad guy. I knew that MJF was a bad guy, but you were my bad guy. So let's sweeten the deal. You say you won't wrestle me? What's it gonna take? These are the keys to my Ford Black Ops. It's one of 300. Max loves that truck. It's yours. How about this timepiece? It's an Omega Seamaster courtesy of Tony Khan. Means the world to me. Most expensive thing on my body. You want this? It's yours. I'm willing to go even higher. How about these red bottoms, these Louboutin shoes? You want these? They're yours. And humor me, some people like cold hard cash, right? Justin, would you bring that briefcase in here, please? Thank you. That is over $50,000 in real cash. You need me to validate it? I'm gonna slip a hundo off and... That young gentleman right there, can you go ahead and give him that? Like I said, over $50,000. It's yours. I still think MJF is the future. I still think Max is the future, but an education is the passport there, and I'm going to educate you. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to harm you. I'm going to lacerate you. All you need to do is name your price. Each and every one of us, we're waiting. I'm waiting. Let's do this!
Along with all the lucrative incentives, Cody said to MJF, pick a partner for me, and he would be glad to face the Butcher and the Blade in tag team action. MJF gave his response on social media.
Knock, knock, Cody. What do you say me and you play a little tiny game? Let's live in a world of make-believe. A world where I don't come from a family that has more money than the U.S. Mint. Who am I kidding? Right, Wardlow? Of course I have money. And with that money, I was actually able to buy the assistance of the Bunny, the Butcher, and the Blade. Oh, that's right, Cody. You and your tiny little Mark Boy fan club weren't aware I was behind that, were you? Shocking. But you know, Roller Coaster, when you are the holder of a $45,000 ring, what's a couple grand really gonna do to my bank account? So now you're in a bit of a pickle, aren't you, Cody? You need to find a friend to help shield you away from those two grotesque monsters and that beautiful bunny. And boy, am I glad she's hopping around here. But that's the thing, isn't it, Cody? You don't have any friends left. And that's exactly why you asked BBB to pick your tag partner. But just so you know, Cody, I genuinely care about your well-being. I mean, you are my best friend, after all, right? My mentor. So I gave him a little bit of insight. I decided to pick the partner for them. And now let me tell you something, Cody. This guy I picked is so good. So good luck, champ. That's right. You can never be champ. And that's all because of me.
MJF has selected QT Marshall to be Cody's partner, and the two will collide with the Butcher and the Blade, along with the Bunny, tomorrow night live on Dynamite. Now, we can only wonder what else MJF has planned for Cody.
Well, Dynamite this past week opened with quite a six-man battle, as the Young Bucks, for the first time ever, teamed with the Natural Dustin Rhodes against members of the Inner Circle, the Spanish God Sammy Guevara, and Santana and Ortiz.
Sammy Guevara on roller skates, and the super kick party is right here in Champaign, Illinois. Oh, look at the
Synchronized offense. Great imagination.
Oh, here it is. That double powerbomb into the turnbuckle. And now the Spanish God. Oh, the 630 senton. That's it. 1, 2. Oh, no. Dustin kicked out.
How did he get out of that?
Sammy can't believe it.
And now Sammy Guevara doing some live vlogging.
What in the world? It's beyond ridiculous. I mean, I get it.
Shooting star!
Oh! He paid for it too. Looking more at his phone than he was his opponent.
Now, oh, what is this?
What the hell?
Oh, the senton pile driver combination. Matt covers 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Oh, chaos has ended.
After the match, Santana and Ortiz were out of control and made a startling challenge on social media.
Not another one!
Where's the damn doctor?
Not another one!
Where's the doc?
Not another one! Not another one, man. Not another one. Not another one. Not another one. Boys, the time for games is over. Now, we're gonna have to take you through a little stroll down our block. Next week, Texas, street fight. Let's get it. Get with it or get run down.
Santana and Ortiz, those guys have no idea what they're in for. I've been calling the Young Bucks matches for almost 14 years. I have seen them do some of the craziest, both inside and outside of the professional wrestling ring. And when there's no rules, they somehow get even crazier. Guerrilla warfare tag team matches are their bread and butter.
The Young Bucks, they've done this all over the world, but man, they're bringing it.
This Texas street fight is going to be something else.
It's booked tomorrow night live, AEW Dynamite only on TNT, a Texas street fight, Santana and Ortiz against the Young Bucks. Join us at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
If you're in the Dallas Metroplex tomorrow night, you can join us live for AEW Dynamite. We'll be at the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland. Select seats are still available for this big event.
The following week, Wednesday, December 18th, we will be in Corpus Christi, Texas at the American Bank Center.
Wednesday, January 1st, it'll be the homecoming edition of AEW Dynamite. We'll be in Jacksonville, Florida at Daly's Place.
On Wednesday, January 8th, we are coming to the Memphis, Tennessee area as we will be in South Haven, Mississippi at the Landers Center.
And then on Wednesday, January 15th, it's time for AEW Dynamite in Miami. We'll be at the U on the campus at the Watsco Center in beautiful Coral Gables.
Dynamite is coming to Ohio for the first time ever. We are coming to Cleveland at the Wolstein Center at Cleveland State on Wednesday, January 29th for our debut in the Buckeye State.
And now, 2 more big announcements. AEW Dynamite will originate live for the Von Braun Civic Center, Huntsville, Alabama, Wednesday, February 5th. It's AEW's debut in Alabama. We'll be there 6:30 local bell time. The following week, February 12th, Dynamite is coming to the greater Austin, Texas area at the HEB Center at Cedar Park. 6:30 local bell time there. Tickets for both Huntsville and Cedar Park on sale this Friday, 10 a.m. Central.
For tickets to all these events, go to AEWTix.com. And you guys, you know what? AEW Tix make great holiday gifts and stocking stuffers.
'Tis the season of the inner circle. 'Tis the season of Le Champaign. 'Tis the season of a little bit of the bubbly. That's right. Do you have what it takes to party with Chris Jericho? We want to see you popping and rocking your little bit of the bubbly at your holiday parties this season. So just post the videos on Twitter and Instagram. Include the hashtag little bit of the bubbly, and you too could be in our next commercial for a little bit of the bubbly. Oh yeah! 'Tis the season to say cheers and thank you to Le Champion. Celebrations on tonight.
We continue here on AEW Dark with our main event as Kenny Omega faces Kip Sabian along with Penelope Ford.
This contest is set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Being accompanied to the ring by Penelope Ford from Golston, Norfolk, England, weighing 181 pounds, super bad Kip Sabian.
Super bad Kip Sabian making his presence known here in the main event match on AEW Dark and brought to the ring by the lovely Penelope Ford. Superbad has made his mission in life here in AEW to beat the elite. He feels like he has been criminally overlooked here in AEW and like nothing more than to notch a victory over one of the best in the world, none other than the cleaner himself, Kenny Omega.
Yeah, how's that been going for him so far?
Sabian is 2-1 in singles competition here in AEW.
Oh, Kip.
And Omega, the 4-2 record. Omega, the number 3 ranked competitor here.
And his opponent from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, weighing 215 pounds, he is Kenny
Reaction here in Champaign, Illinois for Kenny Omega. This is cleaner country. And Omega, as you see there on that 2-match win streak, the number 3 ranked contender for Chris Jericho's AEW World Championship title.
Do we always have that? Like a little bit about us above our name?
That's good.
Okay. I don't know. What does mine say?
It said, according to Dustin Rhodes, you really just started wrestling 2 weeks ago.
Obviously, brand new to the business. Thank you, Dustin.
Locker room leader, Chuck Taylor, joining me here on commentary.
18-year vet.
Orange Cassidy would not let us get a word in edgewise, so we had to ask him to leave the booth.
He didn't seem too upset by it.
And you have to imagine a victory here for Kip Sabian, obviously easier said than done, would skyrocket him through the ranks.
Oh, this would be the biggest win of his career. This is probably the biggest match of his career.
And Kip Sabian, of course, is was the winner of the first ever singles match in AEW history, defeating Sammy Guevara on the buy-in at Double or Nothing on May 25th earlier this year. If you haven't seen it, catch the buy-in on YouTube and watch the replay of Double or Nothing.
It's probably in your suggested viewing on the side of your thing right now.
Over to the right side of the screen.
That's right.
Now Kip Sabian, Kenny Omega squaring off here in the main event on AEW Dark. Referee Aubrey Edwards drawing the duties for this matchup. Sabian taking the wrist of Omega. Now steps behind him. Omega jockeying for position. Dropped hold. Sends Sabian down to the face first to the canvas. Omega went for that front chancery, but Sabian able to avoid it. Sabian, for what he lacks in experience, actually giving up 10 years of experience. Sabian 9, Omega 19. He makes up for, oh, look at Omega just sweeping him down, making it look easy. Omega. And Omega sending Sabian down, but Sabian not taking too kindly to being upstage like that. Oof. Emphatic chops.
That sounded like a gunshot through the arena here. Ooh.
Went over the top and then faked out Sabian. Sabian covered up. And Chuck, you've been in the ring with Kenny Omega. You've been tag team partners with Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I've known Kenny Omega a very long time.
And can you talk a little bit about how his game has grown in the time that you've known him over the last like 6-7 years?
I think it's more than that, but I mean, when he, I think it was 2008
yeah,
when we met, 11 years ago, wow. And
oh, the speed of Omega!
From seeing him in the ring and tagging with him, we always knew he was something special, but I don't even know if he thought.
Oh, Kotaro Crusher!
That he would become arguably the best wrestler in the world.
1, 2. 2 count only, says referee Aubrey Edwards.
He always had all the tools. He's always had the power, the speed, the technique.
But it's really been in the last 4 or 5 years that he's maximized his potential.
Yeah, spending all that time in Japan and just immersing himself in professional wrestling, making it his whole life. He's stepped up to another level that only a handful of guys in the world maybe have ever been to.
And that just gives credence to the fact that a victory here for Kip Sabian would be the biggest of his career. Sabian covering up once again and is getting chopped up by Kenny Omega for good measure. Sabian sent into the corner, Omega diving back elbow strike. And Kenny Omega, you said it, he is one of the best in the world. When he gets going, when he gets cooking, there are none better, and he is so dangerous. Kip Sabian is going to have to bring his game up to another level if he hopes to counter Kenny Omega. Shoves him off. Oh, that step-up NZ Gary got Omega rattled.
I got to think, one of Sabian's biggest advantages in this match is that I don't know if Kenny Omega knows that much about Kip Sabian. Were they in a 6-man together? Have they ever wrestled? You know?
No, I believe that this is their first ever meeting.
Either way, I know they haven't spent a lot of time together, but I can tell you, I guarantee you Kip Sabian has seen a lot more Kenny Omega matches than the other way around. So if Kip has any tricks up his bag, tonight's the night to use them.
Yeah, Kip Sabian needs to go for broke if he wants to do exactly what he's. Oh, look at this, Penelope Ford, super bad, getting up on the apron, trying to distract Kenny Omega and doing a good job of it.
It's very apologetic.
But it's Sabian sneaking in the back door, boot to the midsection of Omega. Omega returns and now taken down by that Hurricane Rana.
Oh, Sabian
Oh,
distracted.
look at that,
There's one
Penelope Ford with a Rana of her own.
How about that?
No one was expecting that, least of all Kenny Omega. And she did it without even messing up her hair.
Yeah, we've seen Penelope very impressive in some matches in the women's division.
Well, Sabian goes over the top and crashes into Omega on the outside.
Kenny Omega dive and then did the Terminator clap for him.
Look at this. Sabian over the top, crashing into that right shoulder of Omega, and Omega immediately came up clutching. A little lip service there. And now Kip Sabian springboard into a drop kick, takes Omega off his feet.
Beautifully done, got him right in the chest.
1, 2. Picture-perfect drop-kick pinpoint accuracy there from Kip Sabian. But Omega's still able to kick out. Penelope Ford doing a great job of turning the tables on Kenny Omega, turning this match into the favor of her man, Kip Sabian.
Choking him on the ropes, taking advantage of that 5 count there from referee Aubrey Edwards.
Aubrey admonishing Kip Sabian. Sabian would hate to have this match end in a disqualification. This opportunity to take the fight, to unseat the Elite. Oh! Hammer throw into the corner.
I'll tell you this Kip Sabian's a cutie, but he seems like a real turd of a person.
Was it the bad tattoos or just the bad attitude?
It's a little bit of both. I don't like his accent.
He's got that classic Norfolk accent. And now Sabian, that chancery on Omega. He's got Omega hung out to try the twisting neck breaker. Cover, 1, 2. 2 count. Omega able to kick out. Kip Sabian thinking that he had Omega put away, but he has to know in his heart that it's going to take more than that.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I guarantee you Sabian has seen more Omega matches than the other way around, and that could be an advantage for him in certain ways, but he knows what it's going to take to beat Kenny Omega. He's seen the wars that Kenny Omega's been through.
And Kenny Omega thus far in AEW with 2 singles losses, 1 to Pac and 1 to Le Champion, though he wasn't the champion then, all the way back at Double or Nothing. That thrust kick from Sabian has Omega staggered.
You see Kenny laughing after that one. He enjoys the competition. He's a psychopath too. He's just a crazy person.
He is.
Full-blown crazy person. I don't know if you guys know that.
And I mean, he's that mania, that manic part of his personality is what makes him such a dangerous professional wrestler.
Yeah, the fact that he can kick it into like a 5th gear, 6th gear, 7th gear, like the guy, he's just a lunatic.
And Kenny Omega went for the boot. Sabian went for the knee strike. Oh, bang, right on the money, Kenny Omega.
Oh, Kip Sabian, you don't want to be in that part of town. Oh, he got out of there.
And Omega, that clubbing lariat, taking him across the face and off his feet. Kenny Omega finding his mark with that one. Referee Aubrey Edwards checking on the eyes, checking on the condition of Kip Sabian.
Sabian was able to say, I think he was just confirming that he's not unconscious.
Omega looking for that Polish hammer across the chest. A second one takes down Sabian. Thinking trifecta. Swing and a miss there by Omega. Irish whip reversed into the ropes, up on the shoulders. Goes Sabian into the fireman's carry. Kenny Omega hiking up the green overalls, telling Sabian he can't escape. Off the middle rope, moonsault press. 1, 2, 2 count.
Perfect placement on the moonsault off the second rope. Everything Kenny Omega does is so fast. It's so sudden.
His explosivity is second to none. And he's fast, he's sudden, but he's accurate too. I mean, that's the most important thing. You've got a guy like Darby Allin who's just as explosive, if not more so, than Kenny Omega. But he's had a couple notable misses in his career, whereas Omega seems to hit with Hall of Fame level accuracy.
Looking for that dragon suplex. Nice counter there by Sabian into the enziguri.
And that's the scouting of Kip Sabian.
Yeah, Omega has some of the most famous moves in wrestling. Like, you know he's going to V-trigger. You know he's going to hit the
Snapdragon,
the Snapdragons.
And Sabian coming in from the outside in with that swinging DDT, planting Omega on the top of his head. Cover, 1, 2, no!
Great looking DDT there from Sabian.
And Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian sharing in the shock. I mean, they have to know that it's going to take more than that to put away Kenny Omega. They have to keep their eye on the ball. They have to keep pressing the attack.
I think you would know that, you know it deep down, but if you've never been in the ring with a guy who can take that much punishment, you don't know what it actually feels like when a guy kicks out of your best moves.
That resilience is surprising, if not shocking. And Omega goes up and over the top of Sabian. Sabian with the bandera sends Omega out to the ring apron and just gouging the eyes. And now Penelope Ford trying to grab the ankle of Kenny Omega. Has him distracted, and now, the drop kick, catching Omega on that shoulder. And that was the shoulder that Kip Sabian came crashing down on with that tope earlier on in the matchup.
A little bit of blood from the mouth of Sabian here. He must have got his lip busted on something.
Maybe even on that early knee strike. Just proves how dangerous Kenny Omega is with those knees.
Another springboard. This time got caught. Murdered with a power bomb. Here comes a V-trigger. Ran through him. Oh my God.
Bang, right on the money. And Kenny Omega may have put Kip Sabian's lights out with that one.
Saw that crazed look in his eye. I'm telling you, the guy's he's out of his mind.
Omega has Kip Sabian set up. This could be it. Goodbye and good night. Whoa! Aubrey Edwards pulled in the path in harm's way by Kip Sabian, and now Penelope Ford inside the ring, distracting him, expectorating in the face of Kenny Omega. And whoa, almost. Kip Sabian nearly taking out. Oh, look at that, a swing and a miss. Pump kick into the stunner by Penelope Ford. Poison Rana. Kip Sabian finds his mark with a PK.
This is moment he's got.
1, 2. Oh, so close.
That may have been the biggest upset in AEW history if he'd have pulled that off. He's got to stay on him right here. This is his chance.
And the crowd here in Champaign behind Kenny. Kip Sabian, you're exactly right, Chuck. He needs to keep the pressure on. He needs to keep stringing together consecutive attacks.
Pulling down the knee pad and expose that patella there.
And Kip Sabian looking for a knee strike of his own, perhaps. Omega captures that right knee. He's fighting for position. He's got the fingers. No, he did not have the fingers locked together. Sabian able to reverse in the standing switch, drop toe hold, and then bang, the V-trigger to the back of the head.
Almost looked like it's just the spine into the Snapdragon suplex.
And Kip Sabian may be out on his feet. Look at how his head is drooping. Omega bringing Sabian up.
It's your boyfriend, huh?
Now taunting Penelope Ford, and another Snapdragon. Planting Sabian on the back of his neck, folding him in half.
I gotta think Kenny's got him right where he wants him. And Sabian's put up more of a fight than I think Kenny would have thought, and well,
Oh no, the Snapdragon on Penelope Ford.
Couldn't do
nope, sends Penelope into Kip Sabian, bang! And now Tiger Driver. 98 planning. Sabian on the top of his head. 1, 2. Oh,
no! Kip Sabian proving to be very resilient tonight.
Sabian able to kick out. And now Omega has Sabian right where he wants him. Goodbye and good night. Bang!
Scooping him up. Here comes One-Winged Angel. Kenny Omega's ready to head to the house. There it is.
Plants him. 1, 2, 3.
The winner of this match, Kenny Omega.
What a victory by Kenny Omega, but the real story here is the tenacity and heart of young, super bad Kip Sabian.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people are going to leave the arena tonight. They're going to remember Kenny Omega giving him all the greatest hits and taking him out, but they're going to remember super bad Kip Sabian, as we see right here. One-Winged Angel drops him and nobody kicks out of that.
100% efficiency, you're exactly right. Nobody has ever kicked out of the one-winged angel. Well, one very golden individual has, but it's been a number of years. Omega, 100% efficiency in the AEW ring. And thank you very much for joining us here on AEW Dark. Tony, back to you in the studio.
So another win for Kenny Omega, but Kip Sabian is continuing to impress. And what about Penelope Ford with him at ringside? That girl's an athlete.
She's an athlete, but she's a little scoundrel too, sticking her nose in places where she does not belong. She should not have touched Kenny Omega. She should not have tried anything.
Scoundrel.
She's a little scoundrel.
Okay, we'll see what happens this week. Now, don't forget, AEW Dynamite, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central will be live from the Metroplex in Dallas at the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland, Texas. We hope that you'll join us tomorrow night for that. And Dash and I will be back next week, next Tuesday, right here for AEW Dark. See you then.